Had to get up at about 6 o'clock in the morning and get on the road to drive from Lawrenceville to the Atlanta Motor Speedway for my very first autocross event. At around 8 o'clock, all the drivers gathered for a meeting to go over the rules. After the drivers' meeting, we walked the course with the instructors telling all of us novices how we should drive each section. As we walked the course, we drew chalk outlines around each cone. If a cone gets knocked out of its outline, that's a 2-second penalty. Pretty soon it was time to line up all of our cars in the grid. Here's a little tour of some of the cars that were on the track. That's a Dodge Neon SRT, my MR2, a Honda Civic, I'm not sure why I paused on that so long. There's a BMW 330. That was one of the instructor's cars. This is a Toyota Yaris, one of the slowest cars on the road, but he had a lot of fun. Did not score great times, but had a lot of fun. That Corolla didn't do so well either, but the Corvette did, although he wasn't the fastest of the day. There's a BMW M3. He was one of the fastest of the day. One of the many Miatas. This guy had a new Miata, and he did not push it hard. He was very, very careful. There's one of two Mini Coopers. There's one of the two S2000s that were out there that day. Another BMW M car, a Ford Focus ST, and a Ford Fiesta ST. Those are both almost like dream cars of mine. It's funny, the owners laughed when I said that. Another Miata, another Civic. There's the second S2000. I met the driver of that car. He did really well. Here's another BMW and a Mercedes. And here at the end, there's a BRZ, a very fun car. I don't think his times were any better than mine. Nice car, though. And a Subaru STI, which was beautiful. Now it was time for tech inspection. This guy's looking in the front and is like, hey, where's the engine? Just kidding. My car passed tech. It was great. My group was the first to go, so got my helmet on and getting ready to drive. I was second in line. This guy was right in front of me for the first run of the day. For my first 3 runs, I had an instructor with me. I don't have any videos of my runs because I didn't bring a GoPro next time, but here's some other cars you can see. I think the fastest cars of the day were the S2000s, some of the faster BMWs, but these little Mini Coopers were fun too. Here's one of the many Miatas that was at the event. Here's another view of the track. This is near the finish line. They just made a big curve out at the end to head back towards the beginning. Now there's a big slalom, final curve at the end, and across the line for time. That Ford Focus ST actually did... Okay, I think that's the S2000. And what I want you to see is the big sweeping turn there at the end of the track, and then we come into the last big section of slalom, and there's some more slalom before getting to the end. Now, that was not his best run. He sort of skidded out there at the end, but by the end of the day, he was running really fast. And right as that S2000 was crossing the line, here comes the next car, Civic, and they were running, the course was about 35 to 45 seconds, and they were running cars about every 20 seconds, so there were always 2 cars on the track at the same time. This is one of the guys I met. He was a really nice guy. After my 6th run, my car completely died. It would idle, start right up and idle, but if I pressed the gas, it could not get above like 1200 RPM. It would just sit there and go back and forth. This is with the gas pressed. So I thought I was stuck at the Atlanta Motor Speedway. We thought maybe the problem was this horrible old air filter, but even taking off the air filter didn't help. It still wouldn't run above 1500 RPM. We looked for vacuum leaks, we let it cool down for an hour and a half, and still it wasn't getting above 2000 RPM, even in neutral. After about 2.5 hours of sitting around, a mechanic came over and said, well, let me take a look at it. And so I started it up, and it revved right up to 5,000 RPM. Once the car seemed to be running, I felt safe enough to drive out to Summit Racing and get a new air filter, so that's good. I recommend a trip out to Summit Racing for anyone who's a car guy. They just have lots of cool stuff. It's like a museum. After the successful drive to Summit Racing, I felt good enough to drive home, and I took all back roads, stayed off the highway, but the car got me home. And so it was a good day. Hope you can tell by the